Hi everyone, my name is Kelly, and today I'm going to be talking about why you should adopt, not shop, your next pet. You may be wondering, what does adopt, don't shop mean? Well, pet adoption is the process of taking responsibility for a pet their previous owner has abandoned or released to a shelter or rescue organization. This means giving an animal that's been abused, neglected, or abandoned a new home and a second chance at life. Approximately 6.5 million companion animals enter U.S. shelters every year. 3.3 million of those animals are dogs, and 3.2 million are cats. In 2013 alone, the CFHS, Canadian Federation of Humane Societies, reported 119,000 cats, 53,000 dogs, and 15,000 other animals were taken in by shelters across Canada. Since then, the numbers have only increased. Out of all these animals taken in by shelters and rescues, only 25% are adopted and find new homes. The rest of these animals are unfortunately killed. Animals who don't get adopted are usually euthanized typically 5 to 7 days after they are brought in. In some cases, however, some animals are only given 48 to 72 hours to live. Euthanasia comes from a Greek word that means good death. This procedure for animals is done by a veterinarian with a medication known as pentobarbital. The vet will give this seizure medication to the animal as an IV injection to one of their legs, and in about 1 to 2 minutes, the animal will be dead. This medication works when used in large doses. It makes the pet unconscious and shuts down their heart and brains from functioning. The sad part about this process is that 80% of these animals being euthanized are perfectly healthy. Statistics show that over 1.5 million animals are being euthanized each year. This is approximately 670,000 dogs and 860,000 cats. However, Canadian pets are lucky. Canada is known for their no-kill shelters and have become a safe haven for American pets to escape death row. So why should you adopt? The first reason to adopt is because you'll be saving a life. Due to the fact that so many pets are taken into shelters and there are few people considering adoption while looking for a pet, more and more shelters are having to euthanize animals because they lack the resources and space to care for them all. If more people start adopting animals instead of buying them at a breeder or a pet store, the rate of euthanizations will drop dramatically, and shelters will have enough space for animals who desperately need help. If adoption rates aren't increased, it is estimated that over 1,000 dogs and cats will be killed each month in the years to come. The second reason why you should choose a shelter animal is because it will cost you less. When adopting any animal, vaccinations and training are super expensive. With shelter animals, vaccinations, medical treatment, and even training expenses are included in the adoption price. This will not only save you the money, but will also find you a well-trained companion for your family. The third reason as to why you should adopt, not shop, is to stop puppy mills. If you're buying a dog from a pet store or online, you're most certainly buying a dog from a puppy mill. Puppy mills are places where dogs are bred solely for the money they can bring in, with no regard for the dog's welfare. The puppies are kept in overcrowded and unsanitary cages. They receive minimal to little veterinarian care, and in these places, inbreeding is very common. Inbreeding is the production of offspring by the breeding of organisms that are closely genetically related, for example, brother and sister. This is dangerous because the offspring are prone to becoming mutated and more prone to catching severe diseases. By adopting a dog rather than from a breeder, you are stopping the illegal business known as puppy mills. From my personal experience, rescue animals are some of the most loving creatures. My aunt and uncle adopted 2 dogs. On the left, that's Molly, and on the right, that's Bobo. These dogs have been a part of my life for a long time and are the most loving dogs I have ever met. My aunt even used to run a daycare, and the children absolutely love these dogs. They are well-tempered, good with kids, and just overall great animals. They are actually the inspiration for my TED Talk today, as my aunt and uncle saved them from a lifetime of loneliness. The one issue with adopting an animal is the long adoption process. This process begins with an adoption counseling appointment. This appointment is required in order to see if your family is a good fit for the animal's personality. You will be required to fill out personal information such as how many people are in your family or what your everyday life is like to make sure the animal will be going to a well-cared-for environment. The second step of the adoption process is to schedule a meeting with an adoption counselor. This counselor will chat with your family via Microsoft Teams to ask you more personal questions as well as provide you with information about the animal you are looking at adopting. If the counselor doesn't see the certain animal you want as a good fit, they will often recommend another animal that fits your requirements. The third step is to meet the animal. This is probably the most crucial and important step, because if the animal doesn't like you, then the adoption agency won't let you buy him. The final step is finalizing the adoption. If you and the adoption counselor feel that the animal is a good match for your home, they'll provide instructions concerning adoption fees, pickup times, and continuing care for this animal. Although this doesn't seem like a lengthy process, it is. To end the presentation, I want to take the time to talk about the local animal shelter and some of the animals up for adoption today, hopefully to persuade you to adopt when looking for your next pet. The animal shelter I'm talking about is the Oakville and Milton Humane Society. This organization has space for 300 animals, and its mission is to give a voice to those who can't speak for themselves. The shelter began in January 1936 and is currently home to Rex, tuna, and fish. I hope by this presentation you have been inspired to adopt your next animal, as I believe as children of God it is our duty to protect God's creation.